This is our Wednesday night channeling session, number 222, 3 deuces. Let's start with a quiet time. Let's close our eyes, relax our bodies, bring your full attention to this moment and to this class, to this place. Turn loose to the day. Think of the circle as a circle of light. And this light's getting brighter and brighter. Each one of us are part of this light. And we're turning our light on inside, making everything brighter. And the brilliance is reaching up to the higher dimensions of divine love and light. And the teachers that come to talk to us are reaching down with their light to make the contact. And there are many gathering in the balcony section. Our teachers and guides are here. Many others who have come to witness this that didn't have the opportunity when they were in the physical. Let us send all that are here God's love and feel the divine love filling the room and going out to all other groups like this. Let us realize that each one of you are as much of the channel as the one who speaks. Thank you, Father. Well, we start off the channeling with a writing that is channeling. And the title tonight is Surrender. It says to surrender is to give up. Give up the old ways, and take on the new, speaking and acting. The first step to a new direction is to give up the old direction. The first step to be a master is to give up any thought that is less than a master would think. From your point of view, you think of working towards something. Do you want to just continue to work toward, or do you want to arrive? If you are working toward a high school or college diploma, you do expect to achieve it. In your spiritual growth, you arrive at different levels of consciousness. In other words, your scope of perception is broadened. You see and understand much more than before. To arrive at the higher level of consciousness, you give up the lower level view and broaden your horizon. To have a greater understanding of life and the laws of life, you give up the lesser and accept the greater. The whole of life on any planet or dimension is yours to perceive and understand. Will you give up, surrender the old, and take on the new? Will you give up the illusions garnered from the so-called past and be the master you are? My little ones, I come to you with God's love in great abundance. I come to you with my love, and all these higher beings that I dwell with have sent their love to you and all other groups like you. I would remind you that there are many groups such as yours that do make contact with the other dimensions and receive greater understanding. I would ask you to send your group and all others like yours God's love daily, realizing that as the groups increase and as the understanding in the groups increase, this brings more light to your planet. It brings more understanding to at least a few, and that understanding in the few can make the difference to bring about the balance on your planet, to bring about at least a better balance. There has, down through the centuries, been at times very few who had any understanding of the real spiritual truth. Now the light is getting brighter and everything is coming out in the open. The truth is here. The eternal truth is here for everyone who is open to hear. You who come to these circles of light know that you can abide in the truth, and the truth can abide in you. You can abide in God's love, and God's love can abide in you. And you can be a channel for this divine love to flow through. Remember this, my dear ones, and be this open, clear, clean channel. Our class tonight is an important one, and it is difficult sometimes for those who do not really understand to surrender. To surrender is to give up, and that to the human mind it does not sound correct. But when you think of it from a higher point of view, you realize to gain greater understanding, you need to give up the lesser understanding. And it is not that the lesser understanding that you have had is not true, but you open the door for a larger view of life and the understanding of the laws of life. True understanding is that inner foundation that is so important for you. As you gain this true understanding more and more through the reading that you do, the classes that you take, and coming to these circles of light, then your light becomes brighter, and it affects everyone around you. My dear ones, it affects the whole of life. Just so much. Realize this is true. There is but one life, and whatever affects one expression of the life affects all of the life. Just as this body could be we could make an example of this body that I'm speaking through, and if the toe is infected, it could poison the blood of the whole body. But when the healing comes and you have energy and vitality through understanding the laws of love and light and beauty and joy, then is the whole body well, and everything falls into place. You are one with all of life. Whether you think of it or not, whether you realize it or not, there is no getting away from this, for there is but the one life that has named itself God, you are as close to God as anyone else, and everyone is close to God as anyone else. Where there is no division, there is no separation. When you learn to surrender the old illusionary beliefs, those that have caused you problems in the past and may still be causing you to have pain and so on, when you learn to give them up and take on the real truth of life, then are you free. And as you move forward into your greater growth, my dear ones, I tell you this now, each one of you here can, in this incarnation, become a master of this plane and this planet that you're on. This is the truth. But you must give up the belief in lack. When you think of yourself and you do not believe that you have the abilities to be a master, then you are working against the laws of life. You are working against yourself. When you think of lack in yourself, then you are keeping the greater good from you. Divine love, my dear ones, is the key, as Allah says. And when you learn to love yourself, this includes your body as well. Accept your life as you find it, where you are, and the things that are happening to and around you with love, knowing that all things work together for good, no matter how they appear to be. You cannot judge by the outer physical appearances, but you can judge righteous judgment when you raise your view from this illusionary duality concept of the physical plane. When you rise above this, then can you see with the inner eye. Then can you understand. And as this understanding grows and grows, you grow in a spiritual way. Your light becomes brighter. The love you understand greater and are able to accept it and to give it out. My dear ones, love life, no matter what it appears to be. Continue to remember that this physical plane is but a play on a stage. It is not life as it truly is. You have accepted life as you find it on this physical plane, to go through certain roles, to learn and to grow, to understand those things that you have not understood in other incarnations. So many cry out, why, oh, why did this happen to me? Why do I have to be in this situation or have this body that is not so pleasant to be in? There is an answer, my dear ones, and the answer lies within you. And when you give up the anguish and the frustration and even anger and start loving yourself as God loves you, then your answers come forth. They are illumined in your mind, but you must surrender the negative qualities. I should not call them qualities because they are illusions, the negative illusions. When you give them up and realize that there is a reason and purpose behind everything that happens in your life. You need not spend all your time looking with a magnifying glass to find each little detail of reason, but it is important that you understand. And through divine love and God's light of understanding, you can know the truth, and the truth sets you free of the fear and the doubts and the pain. It is not meant for you to go through the things that most on this plane go through, but you have chosen to have these experiences and to learn through them. And so you are the creator of your life as you find it. Remember this and blame no one else, not even God, for God has been so graceful to give you the freedom to learn through your own so-called mistakes and grow through them. There are times when it may take 10 or 20 lifetimes to learn one little thing, but my dear ones, life is eternal, and one lifetime is but a blink of the eye in the sense of eternity. Be not concerned or frustrated with your progress or lack of it. Be not concerned about anything. As your book that so many of you are familiar with, it says, walk on. Walk on knowing that the light is on your path, whether you are able to see it or not. God's divine love is guiding you if you will but listen with the inner ear. His love is caressing you and giving you that emotional food that you need so much on this plane. So many reach out for their sustenance. My dear ones, this is the wrong direction, for almost everyone on this plane is in need just as you are. And when you reach to another, or a situation, or money, or whatever, you are reaching in the wrong direction. You need to reach within yourself, into that part of you that is one with God at all times, and has all knowledge, all wisdom, all ability, and all power. Believe me when I say this is within you and available to you. You are the master of yourself, for you are made in the image and likeness of the Creator. He is indeed your Father. He always has been, He is now, and He always will be. And He loves you with a love so great, your physical minds could not begin to comprehend it. But by knowing this, and knowing that whatever happens in your life is your doing or your undoing, whichever way you want to look at it. It is the things that you have brought to yourself to learn and to grow, to understand, so that you might be free. When you look at the larger picture, my dear ones, of your sojourn on this planet and other planets, you see many incarnations and many experiences that you have had. And there are times when you go with the grain of life and there are times that you go against the grain of life, hurting yourself and building up what you think of as karma. These misunderstandings about life, and that's all they are not sins, as so many are taught. God does not hold them against you. They are just your doing. They are your misunderstandings. And His light and love is there to help you to understand when you can take your attention off of the past and the things that you feel guilty about or you feel that have happened to you because someone else did something. When you can take your attention away from this and place your attention on knowing that God dwells within you, that He is the life force that you are, and that He is guiding you every step of the way, when you can listen and hear. But most on this planet have their attention on the five-sense world, and so much that they do not hear, they do not see, they do not understand. And this is the way this plane has evolved because of your doing. And when I say your, I'm including all that are involved with this planet from its very conception. You have made your world as it is, the outer world and your inner world. The outer world is what you perceive with your five senses. Your inner world is how you react to what you perceive with your five senses in the outer world. And this is where the old saying, Donald, I have to pick up some of his sayings, the men are separated from the boys, or vice versa. This is where you either learn or do not learn, is when you can discern that you are fighting against the grain and straining with life, or whether you are just relaxing and learning to be at peace, no matter what others are doing or saying, when you can know that God loves you, no matter what you've done in the past, no matter what experiences you've had. He does not see them as you do. He sees you as complete, whole, and perfect as He created you. He loves you as His child that you are. He only loves you. He does not judge you. He does not punish you. This, when you truly accept it and understand it and get acquainted with that inner being that you call the higher self, then you are getting acquainted with the God that dwells within you. For your higher self is that part of you that is constantly in touch with the Creator of all life, consciously in touch. And as you learn to take that higher self into your day, into your every thought, word, and deed, then do you hear the Father's voice. Then do you understand. Then do you see the path before you filled with His light and love, and you feel that divine love and are fulfilled, no matter what others do, no matter what is happening around you. This, my dear ones, is the truth. This is life as it truly is. When we talk so much about the illusions of this plane, It is to try to help you to understand that God has not created this, that you have created the world that you live in, that you have created your reactions to what you find, and the patterns of thinking that go along with this. But being a child of God, made in His image and likeness, and being a creator, even as He is a creator, you can recreate yourself and your world that is within you and make it a heaven on earth. No matter whether your spouse or your closest friend or anyone else does, you can do it for yourself. You can do it alone with God. Without God, you would not even exist. And this is another thing that so many fail to remember, and they think they are doing whatever they're doing with their outer physical personality. They think that they are doing it with their intellect. You see, my dear ones, you would not exist, you would have no power of thought or anything else unless God's life force was constantly streaming through you. And when you get into the flow of that stream of life and recognize it as it truly is, then do you hear the truth. Then do you see and understand. Then do you become the master. Your ability to do this begins with your ability to accept the truth that you can. And there's no time limit on this. It can happen at any time that you truly accept who you are, fully accept who you are, and act, think, and speak accordingly. This lesson tonight, from your point of view, does not seem to be an easy one. But your concept of easy or difficult is only a concept. And whatever you think about it makes it so. Let us say this again. Whatever you think of your ability to become a master makes it so, or keeps you from it. Whenever you surrender the old way of thinking, of lack and the illusions of this plane, then can you move toward that which you desire. And each one here tonight has a very strong desire to be a master of this plane, to rise above the physical illusions and be the master of your mind, your body, and your spirit, knowing who you truly are, not just part of the time, but all of the time. And again, I tell you, this can happen in this present incarnation for everyone in this room and many, many other places and many others. This is the time that more power is coming to your planet. This is the golden age, as you call it, the Aquarian age. And the power from other planets and other stars and other suns are hitting your planet at this time and giving you more to work with, giving you more light. And in the next 2,000 years of your counting, you have the opportunity to be Christed, just as the planet will be Christed in that period. And you can move upward with the planet and stay with the planet. This will be a tremendous experience that you could not even begin to imagine. And you can start right now. Now is the only time that you can do anything, my dear ones. Now is the only time that you can love yourself. And by loving yourself, you're loving God and you're loving life. By loving yourself, you're loving everyone else, regardless of what they're doing or not doing. By loving yourself, you are allowing yourself to be a channel for God's love to flow through. Eliminate any guilt or self-condemnation from the past. This I've said before, the past is dead unless you give it life with your thoughts. The past does not exist unless you give it life with your memory and thoughts of it. From this moment, you can start on the path of light and love and not look back, but look forward and look at the present moment and be that master moment by moment, minute by minute, hour by hour, living only one day at a time and giving this day a full measure of God's love for yourself, for life, for God, and for all creation. This would be a good time to stop and allow you to ask questions or make comments. And I encourage you, my dear ones, to do this. I encourage you to participate in this discussion we're having, for you are as much a part of it as the one who speaks or any of the highest masters who are on other dimensions here. Allow yourself to be a part of it by joining in with comments or questions. Let us do that at this time.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who is my spiritual guide or spiritual guides?
In this type of discussion, my dear one, we do not answer this kind of question, and it is the free will of Donald that is involved. His training has been, and I think it is a good training, that you should discover this on your own. We do not give readings, and we have admonished his group to not give readings, for when you do give a reading, then you have to make decisions for others. But when you discover that inner power, that inner ability to know these things for yourself, from within yourself, then you are using your God-given abilities. But if someone continues to tell you these things, whether true or otherwise, then you are you may not develop these abilities. You may be like the spoiled child who continues to want to be spoon-fed. And I am not criticizing you, my dear. It is something that everyone should hear. This is not being withheld from you purposely. It is what you need for your soul's growth. You have taken the class that reaches your higher self, have you not?
Yes, I have.
And so, through your higher self, this can be answered easily. And it is that part of you, see, that is one with all wisdom and all knowledge and understanding. I feel that you have had a hint of a name or something, and you may want confirmation. Is this true?
Yes, that's true.
You accept that which you have received from within yourself. If you have received it from something outside yourself, do not eliminate it, but confirm it through your higher self. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
This is given to you in all love, and not withholding from you, but helping you to grow and to expand yourself. Bless you for asking this question,
Thank you.
for it is one that needs to be answered for those who do not understand why we do not give readings. Are there other thoughts or questions this evening? Be not concerned about rebuttal, about being denied as this first question, but if you have a question, ask it. And if it is something that we cannot answer, we will explain why.
I have a question.
Yes, speak loud for the microphone, please.
I read in last night's paper something that was, as an observation, a commentary. And when I read this, a thrill coursed through my body. Now, I don't know if this is a fact or not, and I would like confirmation if I could. The fact that you stated that the earth is being bombarded by more and more of the higher light and the vibrational and more power, and a lot of times that we are seeing on a physical plane the result of these actions through earthquakes or volcanoes. The earth is changing its vibrational rate. Now, I read as an observation from a reporter that was in Los Angeles during this last of the earthquakes. He reported seeing, and he was put down entirely by media, by those in the know. He reported seeing, at the time of the earthquake, light waves of various colors in the air above where the quake was. He was told it was explained away as being from the power lines, and yet people that were in the desert regions also saw these different vibrational colors of light that have absolutely no explanation, and they are just put aside as, oh, it's nothing, it's your imagination. My heart told me that this was as a result of these vibrational lights that are coming to the earth. Am I correct?
Yes.
Oh, that's so exciting.
And when you feel this rush or this feeling that you have all over, this is confirmation 99% of the time, shall we say. When you have this feeling, this is that inner, that is part of your higher self telling you, yes, this is true. This, the earthquakes that you have had, not all of them, but a big majority of them, have killed very few. and have hurt very few. They have done a lot of property damage. And of course, some of them have, as you think of, killed quite a few. But if you will look at all of them, you will see that there are many of them that did not take so many lives, maybe one or two, with great power of destruction. So this light that you speak of is the help from these higher dimensions, that this will work out karmically as it should. And those who are injured, those who graduate from this plane, are the ones who should and who need that experience. And this light is the entities who work with your planet, who have this power from God to bring about the conditions that are karmically in line with the things that the people who are involved with need. Does this coincide with your understanding?
Yes, thank you. It thrills my soul.
Yes. You see, the planet is changing and is affected by everyone's thoughts. All of the weather conditions that is changing so much is a reflection of the thoughts of the whole of the entities on this planet. Everything that happens to your planet, and these earthquakes, these cyclones, hurricanes, whatever, are the reflection of the entities who dwell on this plane, their thoughts. And some of the hurricanes go out to sea and do not do so much destruction. Others do. This is all an outworking and experiences for the planet and those who dwell on it, the ones that need the experiences. This may not be coming out too well in your English, in your words, but I think it is enough to give you the understanding.
It's like a cause and effect.
Yes. This is what your karma is. The whole of mankind's thoughts. Some call it the race thoughts, and this it means the whole of mankind's thoughts brings about the cataclysms that are lesser or greater. And when you send out love to these conditions, and you send out love unlabeled, it helps to lessen the impact of these. It helps to maybe put off some of these things for a while until the whole of mankind's thoughts can be better. There is a time now of your planet going through changes that do not seem pleasant to you, and they will continue to do so for a while. But I tell you, each one of you who send love into your planet, into each individual on this planet, and to the karmic situation of this planet and the entities thereof, make a big difference in helping to lessen the intensity of the experience that seemed negative to you. Are there other questions or thoughts this evening?
Several years ago, I had a fellow come up and tell me that the Spirit instructed him to tell me that if I got rid of all the bitterness out of my life that there would be wonderful things happen to me beyond your wildest imagination. And at the time that he said those things to me, I didn't quite understand, but I opened my mind to understanding, and this is what led me to this group.
Yes.
At the time, I was attending other groups that were not teaching things in a constructive way, but more of a destructive way, and I began to rid all those groups out of my life, and it has been better. The experiences have been better. I feel now a true physical change, not only taking place in the earth, but in my physical body. I have another friend who has been talking to me about the photon belt, and he seems to be concerned because it's going to destroy all human life and things, but I now understand through your commentaries of tonight that this is a more spiritual vibration, and it must happen in order for the change to take place.
Yes, all life will not be destroyed on your planet, and the planet will not be destroyed. God has given man free will, but this line was drawn because, you see, if your planet was destroyed, it would throw out of balance your system of 12 planets, and this would throw out of balance of the whole galaxy to a certain extent. And the free will is there, except for this one thing, where it affects so many and such a large part of the universe. The planet is an entity, just as you are an entity. It is growing in spiritual understanding, just as you are. And its time in this golden age is to be Christed, and it is coming about. And you can go with it, or you can step aside and go to another part of the universe and continue your growth. It is up to each individual, but life vibrations are accelerating on and around your planet and your system and this part of the galaxy, and will continue to do so throughout this age, which is about 2,000 years now. You can accelerate with it and keep pace with it if you so desire, not with your physical conscious self, but through a greater understanding of surrendering the old and taking on the new. This is almost a daily occurrence, my dear ones, as much as the acceleration is going on. It is giving up what you think of as yesterday and what you understood yesterday, and taking on some new things, new understandings for the day that you dwell in, and so on. If you are open, if you allow your spirit guides and teachers to help you, there is much help available to you, but you must ask for it because of the free will. Remember to ask often through the day and continue to ask. Are there other questions this evening or comments?
I realize that the whole of man on this earth now understands that there must be a change to come about, but it is sorrowful to understand that they do not understand how to make this change a constructive change instead of a destructive thing.
It does not need to be sorrowful. It is a matter of growth, and everyone is doing the best that they can at the moment with the understanding that they have. And you have not gone through some of the classes that the others have to help you understand this. But it is true that no matter what they are doing the best they can with their past conditioning. And if they do not measure up or cannot measure up to the vibrations of this planet, they cannot stand the higher vibrations and will have to incarnate elsewhere for the next time. There was another question over here.
Yes, I have a question about the appropriate reaction to what...
Speak louder, please.
I have a question about reacting appropriately to what is illusion. I've thought about this week, that I've been taught that there is one life. And at my level of understanding now, my intellectual understanding, that there cannot be anything in addition to this one life, because that would limit the one life. Therefore, what I perceive as lack within myself or in another person or disharmony can't be real. Now, can I go on?
Yes, continue if you will.
Well, I'm having an opportunity in my life right now to where I am reacting to something that I perceive as being, someone's not doing what I want them to do. And I've grown enough to understand that the problem is not what he's doing, the problem is my reaction to it. And is the correct thing to do just to let it go and just understand that it's not real?
You are mixing up several questions here, my dear, and let us begin with your first comment about what is illusion and what is not. If it is of God, it is of God. If it is not, then it is man's doing. You see, the Father has given all of us the freedom to create that which we desire. And we create many things that go against the grain of life, so they are not real in the sense of eternity. They are illusion. Now that is the first part of your question. The other is emotional turmoil that you're going through about what somebody else is not doing that you want them to do. You cannot control anyone else, or if you had the power, you should not. For it is, as I said, everyone is doing the best they can, and no one can affect your life unless you let them. And when you react to what something one is doing or not doing, then you are giving them the power to control you, in a sense. And this is illusion, for you are not using your God-given abilities. You are thinking in the terms of physical, human, the physical plane that is illusion. Does this make sense to you?
It might hit me a week from now. That's what usually happens when I come here.
Yes. Yes, when you have stayed away for a time, and when you do not practice for a time that which you have understood and stay on the path of light, it becomes darker and dimmer, and it is more difficult for you to see and to understand those things that are happening around you, and you are more vulnerable. I know that you are interested in your growth and that you are trying, but I admonish you to be more consistent with your practice, to daily work with yourself and the God within you through your higher self to bring about the greater understanding. Let not things of the world or others interfere with this time that you should have with God within you to bring about this understanding so that it is consistent and you do not allow others to cause you to react. Does this make sense to you?
It makes sense to me what you're saying, but I do believe I have made progress in reacting to the situation.
Oh yes, you have. And the progress is your understanding of it, and you're asking for clarification, and that is what I am attempting to do, is to give you the clarification of your understanding. God bless you for asking. Continue to continue and know that all is well, and that no matter what happens in your experience, it is for your best good to give you greater understanding. Are there other questions or comments this evening?
May I comment about your problem?
Speak louder.
Could I comment about her problem?
You can.
Thank you. I would suggest that you may ask yourself what is right about trying to control another being and find the answer from within.
Nothing is right about controlling others. It is not your dominion, and even God does not try to control others. When you have children, you are responsible for them to give them an example until they are of age. Then they should leave you and try their own wings and make their way in the world to learn and to grow, because they are a different generation than you. But you are responsible in that sense for the children that you have responsibility to. But otherwise, you're going against the grain of life when you try to control others. And it's just building karma for you that will come back and haunt you at some time. Does this make sense to you? Do you understand this?
Yes, I understand it, but apparently she does not. My comment was directed toward her.
Well, she should ask the question.
Yes. To herself, yes. And find the answer from within.
Are there other thoughts or questions this evening? God's love is here in great abundance, my dear ones. It surrounds you. It fills you. Be aware of it. Try each day to become more aware of God's love that is the warp and woof of your being. His love is the substance of all that is. For God is love, and his love is all-powerful and all-wise. You were created from his love, and all problems, so-called, all unanswered questions can come. Did you turn it over?
I turned it over.
No, just turn it back on. Yeah, I'll take it.
He read.
I wasn't sure if the master was coming tonight or not, but I had a feeling he might.
That the master, that was Allah, right?
That was Jesus.
Allah. And that his name. I felt he was going to be here tonight.
I almost asked who it was.
I knew it was. I thought it was someone different, but I wasn't sure.
He always starts out with my little ones and my little children, something like
I
that.
know it did that.
He seems to have a softer approach. And
I have a question. If we left God to experience all these things, and we're working our way back towards God, to be with God, and we're told that God understands all, has he experienced all these things?
has he?
Has he experienced what we've experienced?
Most certainly.
Well, I'm curious as to how he has done it.
Let's start with your first comments. We did never leave God. We have never left God. We are separate from God only in thought.
Right.
See, we took our first thought separate from God and the Garden of Eden story of that, or the Buddha's story, and many others, the prodigal son. But you are on your way to becoming a God, as God is. And so you're having experiences, aren't you? And I would say yes, that God but you'll have to confirm that within yourself. You see, here's the answer now, it's coming through. God has had all these experiences through each one of you, each one of his creation. He is having experiences. Every experience that you have, he is having it with you.
We're all learning through each soul's experience because
In the
it
whole-
all
in
affects
the
the
whole
whole
of
of life.
creation.
That's right.
Now that would take a tremendous consciousness to be able to do that, wouldn't it? Yeah.
The book Urantia that I read pointed out that the master who was responsible for creating this universe, and the Michael, his angelic officer, or however you want to say it, gave up his high position and lived each thing that he created so he could experience everything in the universe. That's the way the book Urantia explains how, in that point of view, how things happen, which is a good way of maybe explaining it.
Yes. So many of the writings put a personality or a name to it. And in truth, as I understand it, we are Michael, if you want to put it that way.
Yes, we are.
We did this. We created this planet and these bodies, the animals and everything on this planet.
We are now making our way back to the wonderment. To be
We're on our way, yes.
and not have separate thoughts. You know, the Bible says that our thoughts are not his thoughts, but it's speaking in a physical way.
Yeah.
As we are a physical human being, and we are working our way back
That's
toward.
the illusion, see,
Yeah.
I talked about. And anything separate from God is illusion.
Yes, it is.
But we have created a lot of these things that we call illusions.
Yeah, with our own
Most of
thoughts.
it. Probably all of it.
When we realize that our thoughts are a projection of something physical, that is the way we treat it. With just a thought. If we think about it long enough and hard enough, it will materialize.
Yeah.
And so therefore it is important to concentrate on a solution and not the problem.
Dear Sarah.
Yep.
What percentage of the time are you doing that?
I try to, most of the time, I have found that to forget the problem and concentrate on the solution, and the problem goes away.
Yeah.
But our physical, our dual standards, our duality draws us back down to concentrating on the problem. and you have to train yourself to get away from the problem, let's concentrate on the solution.
When we do away with speaking in the language, it'll be much easier to communicate and to know more of the truth, because the duality concept is interwoven into language, and that's the way that we communicate.
It makes it difficult to communicate
Yeah.
without speaking of the duality.
That's right.
That's why we get so wrapped up in maybe trying to control the situation. And then it flips back upon this and the situation is controlling us.
Instead of controlling the situation, if you control yourself,
That's right.
you see, you draw to you that which is for your best good.
That's true.
And whether it seems negative or positive to you, or good or bad, it still is for your best good. It may be a learning experience.
Yeah, trying to control the situation, then we're concentrating on the problem.
That's right.
But when we forget about trying to control the situation and just concentrate on the solution.
When you concentrate on God's love, you see that that is the solution.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem disappears.
All right, take care of itself. It may still be there, but it won't be a problem to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've changed my life in the fact that I've tried to get away. I'm speaking in the duality terms again because we are still physical and we have to deal with it. But I tried to get away with all of the destructive and the bitterness and set this aside like I was instructed to. And then that's how I came to this class. And my growth has sped up. And you now concentrate on not the problem, but a constructive.
Yeah, if you live one day at a time, see, you don't bring the past into this
That's
day.
true. Yeah.
And it's the past that's where you have resentment.
Yeah, don't let the past follow you.
That's right.
Well, it's like a bucket of crabs out. One will get up to the top, the rest of them will drag him back down again. You have to be aware of that. And don't let the past drag you down.
Just continue to look forward.
That's right. Forget
What?
it.
Just continue to look forward.
Go with the flow. Quit trying to control the flow, but just go with it.
Stay
And the Spirit will guide you in doing the things that you need to do for yourself and your spiritual growth.
As long as you're in harmony with
Yeah.
it. But when you think that first negative thought, see,
You're
or
out of harmony. And
fear or whatever, well, you have to start all over again. And becoming aware of it, when you do it, that's one of the important things, is to become aware when it's happening and immediately send God's love into it, cancel it out, and turn your thoughts towards love. You have something to say.
No, I'm being good and being quiet for a change.
Huh?
I'm being good and being quiet for a change.
Oh, all right. Shall we stand and podcast?
Oh dear.
As we come together in the physical by holding hands, let us bring down the spiritual understanding that we have been given into our everyday physical lives. Let the light, divine light, come through with this understanding to make it secure in our consciousness and carry it forth into this week, into our present day, each day, knowing the truth, letting the truth set us free, and living the life of divine love. God's love is the answer. And as we live the life of love, we become the answer. Thank you. Final.
Dang it. I guess you got a minute.
Or Sudi, you're all over your...
Yeah.
Concept. You mentioned the book you're going to do about bath. Took me a year to get my hands on that book, and it's a safe one. I thought, this is relaxing.
It's really good to see you.
I get a one
The bus is still, I couldn't get here to school. I had all the
Oh
ball.
my,
Do you know it did? It's going to be a boy and it's a girl. It did.
Yeah, you're one. Yeah. You're one. Sometimes have
Well, good. That's Randy's pouting. He pouted for about 2 days. So Pop Steele. That's right. He'll be real thrilled. Oh, dear. How are you? Good.
Brian.
You look nice to meet you. You're the man.